Welcome back. It's still your perfect morning starter on Channels Television, the Morning Brief. Now let's talk about traffic management and in relations to emergency response. And it's a very critical conversation because time and again an incident occurs and then there's some form of emergency or an unusual, untidy situation. Sometimes that does not result in injury, but there's some loss. Let's look at this holistically now. And joining us on the program, we have the General Manager, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Mr. Olalekan Bakare-Oki, who joins us right here in our Lagos studio. Mr. Bakare-Oki, thank you for coming on the Morning Brief.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
And we feel privileged because we know that you're supposed to be on the road now or perhaps deploying the men to stations in Lagos. So thank you for finding time to come on the program. And so let's talk about the Apapa incident on the Liverpool portion of the bridge, to be precise. We see there how, people went and began scooping fuel in what appeared to be a very dangerous situation as the product spilled over from the bridge. Now, this suggests that they had some time to do that. I wonder if, there were traffic management officials around that area, police, maybe LASTMA. What usually is the, the modus operandi when officials, government officials are there in such a situation? Are there calls made through to emergency officials, to respond to the situation, for effective management?
Thank you. When we got to the scene yesterday, on Liverpool flyover moving towards my 2, where the tanker had an accident, upturned. First and foremost, we have to cordon off the place. We happen to be the first responder. We call on all other responders too. The first responder we call was the Lagos State Fire Service, which they were prompt in their response in case of any incasity. We equally put a call through to the Nigerian police. Area B command is very close to that end. So when they came, we started the process of recovery. But unfortunately, we took charge of the hub of the flyover. Someone had to call our attention that there was a crowd trying to scoop fuel. So we quickly called the attention of the area commander and he deployed his men to disperse the crowd that were trying to take the diesel that was gushing out.
When you say prompt, how do you describe prompt? How soon after the accident on the Liverpool portion of the bridge was the team of the Lagos Fire Service deployed to the scene?
It was prompt because a disaster was averted.
How much time did it take them to arrive after the accident? The
incident occurred around 8:15, 8:19 a.m. in the morning. Lagos State Fire Service got there less than 10 minutes. That was why I said they were prompt. There was a series of other incident management in Lagos that will be able to curtail, will be able to avert what could have resulted into a serious disaster. Let me tell you this. In Lagos State today, Lagos State witnessed over 65% of movement of cargoes, both wet and dry cargoes, in the entire country, as a result of the location of the major seaports in the state. Of course, the Dangote refinery at Lekki Free Trade Zone, Dangote fertilizers. This will tell you the number of trucks, tankers that ply Lagos roads on a daily basis. Whenever we witness any breakdown or any accident affecting this vehicle, we are always strategic in our approach so that we nip whatever happened in the bud. We give spontaneous reaction to every incident.
You said 10 to 15 minutes, but I wonder how early enough that was to prevent people from beginning to scoop fuel, because we saw that there was some fuel scooping done, and we had not seen the deployment of emergency officials of any agency in Lagos.
You agree with me. Crowd control. Nigerian police have to be civilized with people, especially the extremists, when it comes to such situations. It's not within the purview of LASTMA to control crowd. It is the constitutional responsibility of the Nigerian police to provide security in such situation. And I told you earlier, when the incident occurred, when we saw what was going on underneath the bridge, we quickly put a call through to the area commander in charge of the area, which of course he was prompt in sending his men to arrest the situation. That was why nothing happened, apart from those that came early to scoop fuel.
So let me understand. Was it when you discovered that the fuel was leaking from the accident and they were scooping beneath? Is that when you called the police?
The leakage started on the bridge.
Yes.
In my earlier statement, I made mention that when we got to the scene, we were the first responder.
Yeah.
We quickly called on all other responders. The Lagos State Fire Service, LASTMA, Nigerian Police. Even the Lagos State Ambulance Services was put on standby in case of any eventualities.
Okay, so
men were deployed to the flyover, to the scene. You know, the incident happened.
The reason I'm asking the question,
Yes.
because I wanted to understand whether you were consistent in your submission.
Yes.
You said everybody was called when you went to the scene as a first responder. That's was what you said.
Yes.
And then you now discovered that people were scooping fuel, and you say put another call, or you put a call again. So I'm a bit confused as to the series of calls. So is it one call or two calls? Because the reason we're probing further is to be sure that response was quick, because anything could have happened there. Accidents happen, of course, but the unhealthy habit of people going under this bridge to scoop the fuel was so I needed you to be clear on the response that is involved with clearing the people from danger. That's what I was trying to find out from you.
The call was continuous. As I said, when the incident happened on the flyover, we put a call through to all the responders. But there was another call that was put through to the Nigerian police, the police corps, especially the area commander, to bring additional men to curtail the excesses of those scooping fuel underneath the bridge.
Okay.
So help us understand the before and the after. One, what caused that tanker to tip over? What exactly was the cause? Is it as a result of reckless driving, some sort of mishap on the road? That's on the one hand, because it's important to also know what caused this, so it can be a learning experience both for the officials of LASTMA, police, and the drivers themselves, because sometimes you think some of these drivers are above the law. Secondly, just how much work has been done to properly clear that area entirely. So first the before, and now the after.
Yes. Before, statutorily, as I said, it is the responsibility of the Nigerian police to investigate all accident cases. I'm very sure the investigation are ongoing now. I cannot preempt the decision of the investigation.
But you have your preliminary findings as to what may have caused.
But I can assure you, the driver will not go unpunished. Immediately, all the vehicles, the tanker was removed. The whole area was cleared. Even the Lagos State Fire Service has to spend extra hour in ensuring that they dislodge all the spilled fuel, both on the bridge and underneath the bridge, in order to avert any fire incident or inferno.
So was it overspeeding? Was it a faulty tanker?
Was it the state of the road?
Or was it the driver himself? Was he intoxicated? What are the possibilities? At least I know you get there and you just look at the preliminary findings.
We'll await the decision of the Nigerian police on their investigation on that.
Okay.
I cannot preempt them.
Right. So you're saying you don't have any preliminary findings?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Investigation are ongoing by Nigerian police.
I'll be shocked if you don't, because the last man that I know would have had preliminary findings. But this speaks to also the work that LASTMA does, right? Ever since LASTMA became a thing in Nigeria, they say that the fear of LASTMA sometimes is the beginning of wisdom, right? Because they are lurking around everywhere to ensure that they do their job, and a lot of times it is taken overboard. But I want to limit this to commercial vehicles, right? What exactly is the situation, sir? Is LASTMA in bed with commercial vehicles? Is LASTMA afraid of commercial vehicles? Or is LASTMA overwhelmed by these commercial vehicles? I'm talking about the yellow buses and the mini buses, because too many times you find these drivers and vehicles flouting traffic rules. Park on the road when there's a lay-by just right there, pick passengers. They do not even have indicators. All the all the indicators are broken. The cars are not in good state. But it looks like LASTMA officials are right there, look away, and then they look for the private vehicles far away and leave the commercial to go arrest the private vehicle. So what exactly is at play? Are you in bed with them? Are you afraid of them or overwhelmed by them?
None of such. LASTMA is never overwhelmed. LASTMA is just being strategic in our operations now. Before I became the general manager, there were a lot of public outcry against the activities of LASTMA, especially when it comes to apprehending vehicles that commit traffic offense. When I became the general manager, and I and my team, we went into the boardroom in order to re-strategize and reposition the agency. And part of what we put in place is to introduce technology. An enforcement that is driven by technology. Now LASTMA has a gadget, a device that is called TMS, Traffic Management Solution. You must have been seeing it with my men, Zandi.
It's almost whenever like a mobile device where they record with.
Yes, whenever any vehicle commits traffic offense, their duty is to capture real-time substantial pictorial evidence that will be processed and a message will be sent to the assumed offender. Apart from that, if you look at the menace of these commercial buses we are talking about, what we do now in LASTMA, part of the training we've been given, that has been given to our men over 2 years when I became the general manager, at all time, whenever they want to apprehend or arrest any vehicle, apart from commercial, even private vehicle, safety have to come first. The safety of the LASTMA official, the safety of the passengers or occupants of the vehicle. When you see my men on the field looking at a commercial bus, they are just being safety conscious. Is that they take a video record of the incident or they use the gadget with them? Let me give you two scenarios. Last year, August to be precise, I led a major physical enforcement into Idumota-Kata Bridge, where vehicles usually drive against traffic. In my team, the Kai commander of Lagos State, Major Ko, was with me. I have mobile policemen. I have OP Mesa. I equally have the enforcement from Loma. It was a huge operation. I led the team. My vehicle was in front. The first vehicle that was coming, a commercial bus, that has about 15 to 16 passengers, was driving against traffic. And he saw the length of vehicles, convoy enforcement vehicles. Do you know that this particular driver almost skidded into the water? Had it been something happened, what would have people said? The narrative will change. Nobody will say the vehicle drove against traffic or the vehicle drive in a prohibition in a direction prohibited by law. The situation will change. So as I said, what we do now, we prioritize safety more. And so many occasions, my men has been injured and maimed by these commercial buses in the course of apprehending them. That was why we went into the boardroom and re-strategized on our mode of enforcement. When you go to most of our offices today, our removal yards, you will see more of commercial buses than private vehicles.
So how many
We are not in bed with them.
How many commercial drivers have been prosecuted? How does this TMS work to ensure accountability? Because if you go to some flashpoints in Lagos, for instance, just by us here in Baga, you see a lot of commercial bus drivers who are unruly. They are driving and they are in the way of major motorists who are trying to access a thoroughfare. So how has this TMS ensured accountability, and how many commercial drivers have been prosecuted?
In terms of prosecution, 2 weeks ago, December last year to be precise, I led another enforcement team to Airport Road, very close to very close to the international airport. We apprehended over 78 vehicles. I was there with huge security. We were attacked. Some of my men were injured. We prosecuted 7 of them. The news was everywhere. As I speak with you, the 7 men are still in custody. They'll be remanded in prison. I think the case will come up before the end of this month.
It's good that LASTMA is strategic for the safety of all. But I know you put forward, you know, some successes, but I don't think it's effective. It's not effective because, as she said, just go to Berger here. You and I can drive with my own vehicle, not your vehicle, and we'll just be videoing and see exactly, because you see exactly what is going on. So I don't know how effective that is. If you go to VIO, is it VIO now? There's some office here where you do the roadworthiness. You hardly see, you hardly see these commercial vehicles. In fact, the last time we had one official of this traffic official was saying, look, they don't come because they will never pass the test. So you see more of middle-income earners, cars there. There are 2 people you will not see there. Commercial vehicles and the super rich, they never go there. It is just average people that go there. It looks like the law is made for the average because the rich man knows who to call. The poor man will go naked and he will be left to go away. So to that extent, what relationship are you having? Because I don't think you can do it alone. The National Union of Road Transport Workers, who are heading these people, who are in charge of the parks and all of that, what is the relationship between traffic officials, not just LASTMA now, but you are, you know, at the vanguard of traffic management in Lagos, to be able to be effective? Because, sir, you're not effective yet.
We are effective. We have a robust relationship in terms of traffic advocacy with all these their rep, especially the union. And apart from that, I told you myself, the activities happen to be a menace in the states. And Lagos State government, through Lagos State Ministry of Transportation, has taken the bull by the horn. There is an initiative now that is called BRI, Bus Reform Initiative, that is being anchored by the Office of the Special Advisor to the Governor on Transportation, Honorable Sholagiwa. The pilot scheme has kick-started on Lekki-Epe Express Road. This process is very simple and straightforward. A franchise has been given to about 5 or 6 companies, and the door is still open, where all these buses and drivers will come under an umbrella. They will be given a standard in terms of the worthiness of their vehicle. They will be given a tag, a body number. So if any of them happen to commit a traffic offense, LASTMA official, policeman does not need to run after them. What we need to do is just to gather a substantial pictorial evidence and send it to the company via technology. This initiative, by February, March, April, is going to take off fully on Lekki-Epe Express Road. And so many rickety vehicles, another illegal or menace of these commercial buses will be curtailed. And with time, before the end of the year and next year, they are going to spread across other 5 divisions in the states.
I'm sorry, Bukola, you know why I'm asking this question? It's just like, I don't know why you chose to start with Lekki-Epe when there's Berger here.
We need to start something.
I'm saying...
You are being sentiment because Berger is close to you here.
Yes.
No, but there's also Ikorodu.
There are other areas. Oshodi. Yes. I'm saying that for it to be effective, you need to look at the most hostile areas. No matter what you do in those places, with greater respect for people who live there, whatever happens in Berger, whatever happens around Oshodi and certain places, if it's effective there, how did Fashola, the former governor, gain win the heart of Lagosians? Because of what he did at Oshodi. Hotspot, he fixed it. So that's why I'm asking that question. And that's why I still stand where I'm standing. I appreciate this effort the agency is working on, and we hope it works. But when will you get to Berger? Yes, let me be sentimental.
We'll surely get there. I'm giving you an assurance. We're not going to rest on our horse until we put sanity on Lagos roads, until we reduce carnage on Lagos roads. I'm giving you my words. We're going to step up our game.
All right, we hope that that will come through, especially since Lagos now has a camera surveillance system that, doesn't need physical arrest of motorists before, some form of accountability is secured in terms of traffic. If you drive around Ikeja in recent times now and you breach the traffic rules, you get a message via SMS and you're told how much you're going to pay. So we wonder how and why that has not applied to commercial drivers now. Before we wrap up, this is also a very critical part of the conversation. Which agency is mandated to ensure compliance with non-plying, so to speak, of bus rapid transit routes? Is it LASTMA? Is it the police? Or is it any form of enforcement agency in the state? This is because there are some enforcement agencies that ambush commuters in a particular location in Lagos unsuspectingly, and there are no signages to indicate that this is a bus rapid transit route, and then those people are arrested and they're extorted. So which agency has that responsibility?
There is no time the laws go to sleep, and it is global. It's a global standard. BRT lanes are purely dedicated for BRT buses only. But according to Lagos State Transport Sector Reform Law of 2018, LASTMA, Lamata Law Enforcement Unit 2, are allowed to impound vehicle that goes against the law. And let me tell you this, why there is so much pressure in Lagos in terms of road form of transportation. In Lagos State today, we have over 5 million vehicles on Lagos roads. And people commute, movement of goods and services are being done, over 90% of such movements are being done through the road. And if you compare the landmarks of the states, Lagos State has less than 1%, if not 0.4%. out of total landmass in the country. So there comes a challenge on how to mitigate between the 5 million vehicles and the limited land space in the states. Are you aware that Lagos has 24 money deposit banks activities in the state with several microfinances and merchant banks? Lagos State has 69 tertiary institutions. And all these activities are to be done through a limited land space. We have only 67 major roads and 5 ramps in Lagos. And if you are familiar with the vehicular pattern in the states, in the morning, you have high density of vehicles. Over 65% of vehicles usually come from the mainland to the highland in the morning at peak period. What do I mean by mainland? People coming from outside the states. Ikorodu, within and outside Ikorodu, Mowe, Ikeja, Lagos Badagry Express Road, Lagos Abeokuta Expressway. And for them, for these services and people to get to the island, they can only connect the island through 3 major means. They only have 3 transit points to get to the island. Is either they get to the island through Third Mainland Bridge, Kata Bridge, or Eko Bridge. So definitely there is going to be a bottleneck. But LASTMA as an agency that is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring seamless mobility, we will identify all these challenges. Right. And we are not sleeping. We are not resting on our horse until we improve on the travel time of Lagosians.
Yeah, and I think a lot of commendation came through to LASTMA during the Yuletide, the handling of traffic in Lagos, how your men and women, I don't know why we always say the men of LASTMA, the men and women of LASTMA. The
military and paramilitary, not women. We are all men.
Well, it's important so people don't misconstrue.
Just as we have gentlemen of the press,
exactly. Right? Working round the clock to ensure that there was smooth, because Lagos saw a lot of activity during the Yuletide. So when there is commendation, absolutely, the people give LASTMA. And I've seen a lot of people commend LASTMA, maybe when they had accidents and LASTMA came through. So it's important to state that. But I want to reiterate my point, because The goal is to have the very best public institutions in Lagos and across Nigeria. So people can say, you know what, Nigeria is a great country. It's not just in mouth, it's actually in action. So what is the major challenge of LASTMA men, right, officials? Let's take Oshodi as an example. Jeffrey referred to when a former governor cleared Oshodi. If you go back to Oshodi right now, there's consistent traffic just before you get to that bus stop. And what do you see when you get to that bus stop? You see vehicles parked, all commercial vehicles, and we don't have anything against commercial vehicles, but you see them parked in the most unruly manner. You see those boys doing their thing, and you just wonder, come on, in Lagos in 2026? So what you find most of the times is these commercial drivers have already paid some of your people. So they give them, almost like they remit to your people from time to time, 200, 500. And sometimes you see this in broad daylight, they just hand it over to them. So what are you doing to ensure discipline amongst your men so that they're able to enforce the law? Yes, you say sometimes they are attacked and all of that, but you find out too many times they're also accomplices.
That was an allegation, and he who allege must prove beyond reasonable doubt. Be that is.
So you're saying that you have never gotten a report of your men being induced?
No, I'm just...
No, I see what you're doing here. So tell me, is that true or not that you've never gotten reports?
I'm getting somewhere. Let me land.
Okay, because you are attacking my own points. I want to also put it in context.
Let me land. Globally, all over the world, there is no perfect organization. And according to biblical saying, in every 12, there will be a Judas. LASTMA management, part of what we put in place in order to ensure that we curtail the excesses of our men. When I became the general manager, we have to rejig the whole process of our disciplinary action. We have the provost unit and the surveillance unit. They work around the clock. So many at times, they go out like a mystery shopper, unidentified, in an unbranded vehicles, to curtail, to arrest any of our men that intend to go outside the line. And apart from this, we equally have our toll-free line, where people have been calling us, giving us complaints, reporting issues against our men. Our social media handles are ever active. We are on X with huge followership. People have been complaining, and all their complaints, over 90%, if not 100, we are promptly attended to. For 2025, a total number of 28 of my men faced disciplinary action. 9 of them were given total dismissal. There is always a process in Lagos State Public Service where you go through in terms of disciplinary actions. Some of them were given reduction or demotion in their level, in their ranks, while others were advised to leave the service, compulsory retirements. All these are part of the trajectory in ensuring that we position the agency for effective and efficient service delivery.
So in a case of, an untoward circumstance happening in any flashpoint in Lagos, any bus stop, should we watch out for the name tag of the so-called LASTMA official so that we can prove the allegations that we make? And in a case where we're arrested, for breaching the BRT lane rule, where there's no signage, what should we do as Lagosians whose right may be infringed upon?
Any issues that affect my men, that has to do with LASTMA official, always feel free. We operate an open door policy. You don't even need to come physically. You can get us through the X or our toll-free line. My own contact is readily available everywhere. We are just a call away. Report any incident, and we assure you.
Can you call out your number?
080.
Your personal, you want to call your personal number?
Why not?
Oh, okay. I want to be sure that's what
I'm a public servant. I'm a government servant.
Is there a LASTMA hotline?
The toll-free line, yes.
So that nobody calls you by 2 a.m. to wake you up.
No problem.
So please call the one that is not your private number.
The toll-free line.
Your toll-free line.
The toll-free line is 080 000 080-527862. And they've been reaching us.
So can you say it again, sir?
080-000-527862.
Okay.
All right. I have a job of work to do, sir.
You wanted to mention another one. You wanted to mention another contact.
No, not your
That's
personal
it.
contact.
That's fine, right?
Yes, that's
okay.
fine.
'Cause I thought
That's
you
the
wanted to-
hotline, the toll-free line.
They can equally reach us through the social media.
Okay.
That's
All right.
We are
follow-up.
next at Follow LASTMA. We are on Facebook at LASTMA.
And you're on Instagram as well?
Yeah, on Instagram at LASTMA too.
At LASTMA.
Yeah, we know you're a public servant.
And our Provost Office and
Yeah.
Surveillance.
Yeah, we know you're a
units.
public servant, but I'm not a member of the House of Reps. So that nobody calls you by 3.
I'm actually trying to call the line 080-000-527-862. It keeps saying call ended, so I hope it's because a lot of people are calling and not because there's an issue with the line.
So you must have multiple numbers. You can send it to us. We'll help.
We'll surely work on it.
Send it across to us.
I'd like to believe that that's because so many other people are trying to call it at the same time. But we're going to try
it just
this
says call ended.
and give you a feedback, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you have a job of work. We certainly do not envy you at this moment, but we wish you the very best as you continue to ensure sanity on Lagos roads. We've been talking with Mr. Olalekan Bakareoki, the General Manager, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASTMA. Thank you so much for making out time to talk to us on this very important issue.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We'll take a moment now. When we return, it will be time to talk politics of the NNPP and the APC. Stay with us for this next one. We'll be right back.